Welcome to another episode to Business Ahas. I get to be with another dear friend. I think everybody kind of sees, wow, Jim's friends with all these people. Well, kind of I am. There's nothing wrong with being friends with those people that you get to spend time with and get to really get to know better and as they grow as humans. And today's no exception. So I've known Tyler for upwards of 10 years. Saw him grow significantly as a young IT professional. You're like, oh dear, we have an IT guy that's on today. Well, today's a little bit different. I trust me, his perception is different when it comes to kind of the world of IT. And when he really kind of puts it all together, you'll be able to see kind of what all work comes from. So I'm looking forward to having Tyler here today. He's traveling abroad. He flew in from across the country to be on tonight's episode, and we're excited to have him here at Rift. Thank you, Rift, for hosting us for our Business Ahas as usual. And tonight I'm introducing Tyler Despain. Tyler owns and operates an organization called Physher. So like Fisher Price, like you go fishing. No, it's with a P. So PH Physher, like you get fished, like IT, get it? Cyber stuff and cybersecurity. Well, that's what he does. You're going to get to see his journey and where he's been, where he's currently is, where he's going to be kind of going in the future as a whole. And we'll get to be super excited about where he's been, where he is, where he's about to go, where he might go in this world of kind of that IT space. How many times when somebody says, hey, we're going to have a speaker coming today and we're going to talk about cybersecurity, you're like, oh, well, Tyler found this new way of cybersecurity and called phishing. He literally walks into business meetings with a fishing pole and he likes, you know what? This is how we do this. And I will catch you because I'm the fisherman. And it's been really great. So Tyler, welcome to the show. Welcome to Business Ahas. I can't wait to hear more about your story. So welcome to the show. Tyler, great having you, man.
Hey, good to be here, Jim. Thanks for having me on.
How long was your flight?
Well, coming in, it was usually about 12 hours. I always have to make a layover because I'm coming in from Maine.
Oh, my stars.
And so, yeah.
12 hours.
Yeah, it's about 2 hours to fly into Philadelphia and another 6 hours from there, but I'm usually on a layover for like 3 or 4 hours. So.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Okay, let's hop right in, man.
Yeah.
So back, I'm sure it's childhood or what part of your age growing up, what point it kind of gave you kind of that first break into the business world, kind of what led to where you are today?
So I've always been kind of service oriented. I've always liked helping people. And one thing I really liked doing was working on computers. Typical IT nerd thing.
Oh, here we go.
I love playing video games.
Already dropping the nerd
card. Hey, you work with computers, what you got to do. And so I'd always play those games and they would break all the time. And when you're 14, you can't call anybody to fix it. So you got to hop on the internet and you got to find your own solutions to fix your problems. And there's a game you really like, it doesn't work. I remember I spent maybe 2 weeks trying to fix this game and I really wanted to play it and I couldn't play it because it was just broken. But I figured it out. Just hunkered down and I fixed it. And so I've been doing that for a long time. And in school, they give us laptops and me and my friends would hack them so that we could get onto different things, play games on them, install different operating systems so that we could find fun ways to use the laptops that the school didn't want us to use them for. So I always had a good time doing that.
It's just, you just wanted to like just break it and then fix it and make sure it worked again.
Yeah. I take them apart and I pull out all the components of the computer and I put them back in and I buy computer parts. I build my own computers.
But laptops though.
Laptops too, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
And desktops.
Everything, yeah.
Okay, sure.
All the things, I pull them apart. I just love to see how they worked and what was inside of them. So,
why does that intrigue you? Why did that intrigue you?
Well, I like to see how things work. If I learn about something, I'm always like, why does that happen? And so if someone tells me, the sky's blue, and I go, why is the sky blue? And I go on and look it up and I research it and I figure it out. With computers, I always had a computer and it's just hands-on. I can go in there and I don't really have to look it up. I can go in and actually get into the meat of it. I can look at it and see, what does this piece do? Oh, this is the RAM stick. And why is it connected next to the processor? Oh, that's because it has to be close for the channels to run through, the memory to run through, and the information's coming through. And then you can look it up and learn it, but you can also look at it and see it happen as it goes. It's kind of like a car, but
and over time,
smaller.
Good point. But over time, you start realizing how kind of simple it is in there.
Yeah.
And you say like a car, an engine, gas, transmission, battery to start it. It isn't that complicated.
Yeah.
Once you kind of get into the nuts and bolts, right?
Yeah, there's really just a few main components of a computer, and they all need them. Even your phone, they all run off the same simple processes, and the idea is all the same. All the little things inside of it are the same, just scaled down or scaled up. And so they all have this very basic system that CPU, RAM, storage.
That's it.
That's it. Yeah. And they all connect together on one board, and that's what we call the motherboard. And yeah.
You make it sound really easy
Yeah.
to the third grader. I'm like, Tyler, fix this problem.
Yeah.
Okay, Jim, fine. Go to this website, log in here. I'm like, Tyler, you're controlling my mouse. Yes, Jim, I'm controlling your computer. More than once.
Yeah, often.
Yeah, that's super cool. So let's fast forward then. What was your kind of that first break in the kind of real world business?
So it was probably when I got engaged to my wife, and we've been married for 8 years now.
Congratulations.
Yes, thank you, thank you. She's the best person in the world. I wouldn't have married her if I didn't think that, and I really do. But at the time,
she's not watching. She don't have to do that.
Oh, she will.
So later you'll pay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was working as a bus driver, believe it or not, for a school district in Florence, actually. And
Florence, Arizona.
Florence, Arizona. Yeah,
Okay.
I used to live here. I grew up here, actually. So I worked as a bus driver, driving school kids around, elementary and high school. And she told me, you can't be a bus driver. You don't make enough money. And I was like, you're probably right. I should find a new job. And so she helped me spruce up my resume. She's really good at doing resumes. She helped me out with that. Thank goodness. Sent it out to a bunch of places, and then this guy called me back. His name was Cameron. He owned a company called Eubora. Jim is familiar with this company. And he interviewed me, and I guess Cameron liked what I had to say. I had no experience in IT except for at home, just working on random stuff. And the at-home computer world is very different from the business IT world.
Let's pause just 1 second. Just quickly pause. So 5 years or so previous to this, I got a call from Cameron.
Yeah.
And Cameron works for one of our clients. We built their board for their company. And he goes, hey, Jim, I'd like to get your advice. I want to split off and leave my employer, my client, and start my own business. And I'm like, well, let me think about it a little bit. So I reached out to his bosses and I said, hey, what do you think about Cameron like doing this? And they, to my surprise, said, that's incredible. I was blown away, Tyler, that they said, you know what? He wants to follow his dream. Let him follow his dream. So I met with Cameron, and as you well know, I funded the company and got the company going. And then fast forward 5 years later, he goes, I'm going to hire this guy named Tyler. I'm like, oh, great. Well, tell me about his background. Well, not much experience in the IT space, but I think he can do great for the company. So go ahead. Where'd it go from there?
Yeah, so I was happy to get the call back from Cameron. He said, yeah, you're hired. Let's take you in. And he really was exactly how I needed to learn.
No nonsense.
No nonsense. It was this. I showed up. The training lasted maybe about 5 seconds. And he was like, Tyler, this is what you do. You answer the phone. You say, thank you for calling Eubora. This is Tyler. And then you fix their problem. I got to go. I'm busy. And then he was out. And I was in the office basically by myself. And there's a little more to it than that.
Sure.
Obviously, Cameron was a really great boss. I loved working for him. But what he did is he let me thrive and learn on my own. But he was always there to kind of back me up. So if I needed help, I could message him and he'd be like, hey, this is how you fix this. But for the most part, he kind of let me swim on my own and really figure out how it all worked with his support to kind of correct where I was veering off in the wrong direction. And so what that allowed me to do, it allowed me to learn exactly how an IT company operates, how IT in the business sector operates for companies, and how that's supposed to be, allow me to make those mistakes as well with a little safety net that maybe some other people might not be able to make in the world where they're operating their own company.
So I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Was the break getting the job, or was the break him throwing you at the wolves?
I guess, well, it's the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Because he kind of just, he brought me in and immediately was like, this is what we do, go and do it. And that was like, that's how I thrive. I love to just get a task.
Yeah.
I don't get told how to do it. I just have to figure it out. And that's what I did. And he was there to help me and help me grow and really do that. And then, so that was that break. It was like, yeah, let's go. I'm really loving this. I was basically managing myself with him operating the company and making sure all the company stuff was getting done that needed to get done to keep the money coming in. And then I was just there managing the help desk. I was the help desk manager. Every call that came in came to me. Every problem that came in from the phone came into me. If it needed to be a field job, I would call Cameron and say, hey, Cameron, this guy needs field work. Cameron would go out and do it. Sometimes I'd go out with him and help on site, but most of the time I was at the desk taking the call. The guy in the chair. That was me.
The guy in the chair.
Yeah.
How long did you work for Cameron?
5 years about.
5 years.
Yeah.
So somebody sold the company.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes. Somebody.
Or maybe
some
not
guy.
sorry. Yeah. So we had a great opportunity to have an exit, and that exit went super well. And lo and behold, the company that acquired Abora didn't want certain clients.
Yep, they did not.
And then Cameron says, "Hey, Tyler, you want to take over these clients?" You're like, sure.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it went.
That's kind of exactly how it went. And I was like, I would love to kind of take these guys on that are too small for the big guy, I suppose. And I was managing them mostly anyway, and it really didn't change much. But
they knew you.
Yeah, and they knew me, and they were like, "Yeah, I know this guy Tyler. Like he's the one that always answers the phone."
Yeah.
And then I got to put a face to the name, because then I was the one showing up for field calls, and they were like, "Oh, you're Tyler." I'm like, "Yeah, that's me. I've been the one that was answering your calls, and now
You actually do exist.
Yeah, I do. I'm not just an AI.
That's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then what happened?
So yeah, the company was sold. I took the risk to start my own, and I was operating it, taking in that meager sums. And my wife was amazing in that period of time. She helped me a lot to really just let me do all the work that you need to do when you're a fledgling company with no money. And so I was able to put in, 80, 100 hours a week, just really trying to find new clients and really build the company up and really get it to where I needed it to be, so that I could scale back a little bit and focus on both our relationship and my actual life, while also having a company that's paying the bills.
And moved to
Maine.
I
moved to Maine. Yeah, right.
Oh.
That part too.
Oh,
yeah.
imagine that. Yeah.
Yeah. So it allowed us to be able to pick up and move, because IT works mostly remote anyway.
Mhm.
And so I was able to get to the point where I could hire people out to go to the field stuff for me.
Yeah.
And I could continue just being the guy in the chair.
Nationwide.
Yeah, nationwide.
Yeah.
I can do that. Anywhere you need a guy, I can do it.
Yeah.
So
and you've done it.
I have.
Yeah. It's been amazing to be able to watch. Okay, let's transition.
Yeah.
That big aha moment. That one thing that you say, you know what? This is like the one thing that's happened to me professionally. It's been so profound, that I absolutely want to share what that is. What was that?
Okay. So this is hard to narrow down to one thing, but I'm going to, because you told me to. I think it happened recently, where I was really getting into kind of the weeds of what IT is and the difference between IT and cybersecurity.
Mm-hmm.
And what I see is a gap between those two services.
Mm-hmm. Between IT and cybersecurity.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Most people will kind of merge them into the same sector, and they're really distinct from each other. And what I wanted to do was kind of, hey, let's bring cybersecurity and kind of separate these two, and also make it so that companies aren't just looking at cybersecurity as, whenever I talk about it, people's eyes roll onto the back of their head,
Mm-hmm.
and it you can see their eyes glaze over. And I'm like, okay, there's got to be a better way to talk about this to people. And I really want to help people understand how to secure their systems, how to protect not just companies' data, but their clients' data. Because as consumers, we're giving people our credit card information, our birthdays, our social security numbers, all this information.
And now more than ever.
Now, yeah,
it becomes
way
such
more
a
than
huge
ever.
issue, right? Yeah, sure.
And so it's important for us as business owners is to protect that information. And I really want people to know that you can do that and not have it be boring and not have it be a money sink, and actually bring value to a company, and more than just, hey, we've got the security stuff, but also as a value to be like, hey, now we've got a system in place that's really helping us thrive with our technology. And so what happened is you and I were meeting, and you were talking to me, and you were like, hey, Tyler, I've got an idea. And you were like, Physher. And that just, everything fell into place for me. And this brilliant idea of Physher. And I was like, oh, because phishing emails, because we're phishing. And then I was like, hey, what if I go to these places and I bring a fishing pole? And I come out and I'm like, hey guys, we're going to go fishing today. And just go on this whole thing and bring it back to fishing, where I'm fishing for people. I'm attaching things to a fishing pole and I'm throwing it out to the crowd. And
people
I'm
are smiling.
Oh, they love it.
And they dig it.
Mm-hmm. So one of my favorite things is out in Maine, there's a small organization. What they do is they help provide opportunities for seniors to help them stay in their homes and just give them things to do and provide them just nice things.
Mm-hmm.
And what I love doing is I do presentations for these people,
Mm-hmm.
and they love it so much. They actually called me. I had been calling them and saying, "Hey, can I do this? Can I do this? Can I do this?" The other day, they called me and they were like, "Hey, Tyler, we're having an event. We want you
Nice.
there." And
Nice.
oh, that felt so good. And they were like, "We love the fishing pole. You need to bring that." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm the fisherman." And so that's where that came up. So I got to give credit to Jim for coming up with the name. And then we kind of just ran with it. And I was like, "This is a great name. I can really fall into this role of the fisherman where I'm going to come and I'm going to come with my fishing pole and I'm going to make this idea of cybersecurity and protecting yourself and acting as like the bad guy trying to fish for your data and really bring in this prop and this analogy so
Yeah,
that people can
it-
understand it and have fun with it too."
And really, it was
Yeah.
a prop.
Yeah, it is a prop. Yeah.
But playing on the prop.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, and with all due respect, I'd rather be lucky than smart. And and that was luck. Popped in my head.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're like,
Oh yeah.
holy
It was
cow. And it
Mhm.
worked.
Yeah. It completely changed my
no,
mindset.
We changed the name of the company.
Changed the name of the company. It changed, and it really made me, as a tech guy, you really get kind of like insular in yourself, and you're not really thinking of what can make me look better to other people. You're always kind of thinking, how can I make my systems look better? How can these systems operate better? And you're not really thinking about yourself and how you look. And so you come up with these really weird names, and they're like 123 Tech, like just these really just generic things, right? But Physher is just I love it, and I can really lean into the prop and lean into this fun atmosphere that you can create when you come to these presentations that I do for people, or even if I'm just doing a client meeting, I can for the first time I can go on a fishing expedition. We can come in and we can try to see.
Literally like a fishing expedition.
Like a fishing expedition.
Okay,
we're gonna
super
come
cool.
in. We're gonna throw lures out to emails. We're gonna get a list of emails from people, and then we see which one of the
So
employees we
I have
can
a
catch.
question for you. So when you've done that now and you've gone out to these companies and you've gone fishing,
Mhm.
have you ever not caught something?
No, you always find something. There's always something wrong.
Hang on a second. You've never not caught something. Not one time.
Yes.
Every single time you've been out with every business.
Yeah.
And every single time you've gone fishing to find a problem.
Yeah.
You have found a problem.
There's always a problem.
And you've caught something.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's telling.
Yeah. It's telling what kind of landscape that businesses operate in and the confusion that comes with cybersecurity. And
wow.
Yeah. And if I can find it, there's an attacker that knows more that can find even more. And so like these guys are smart and they can get in there. And so you got to have people to go in and look at it and be like, okay, let's see what's going to go wrong if someone's attacking you, and we're going to fix it up. We're going to shore it up. We're going to do what we call hardening.
Wow.
Yeah.
What are the statistics in business about who gets attacked and how many businesses get attacked? What's it cost annually? Is there like statistics out there?
There are. There's, I don't remember off the top of my head, but it's around 50 to 60%. And
Of every company gets attacked.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it used to be more big companies, but
Mhm.
it's trending to more smaller companies now. Billions of dollars are lost every year from cybersecurity attacks.
Mm-hmm.
It's a mess. Like it's the more complicated technology gets, the more complicated it gets to protect it, the easier it is to attack it. The more systems that a single staff member has to manage,
Mm-hmm.
the easier it is for an attacker to trick that person, to lure them, to throw their little fishing rod out there and to get the hook on one of those employees.
And then you catch them.
Yeah, and then you can catch them. Yeah,
So if you catch them,
that's a good thing.
that's a good thing.
Yeah.
If somebody else catches them,
That's a bad thing.
unless you're there
Yeah,
watching.
yeah,
If you're watching, with your net over the entire pond, you're able to ensure that the organization isn't necessarily have a problem.
Yeah.
Because that problem turns into a big problem,
yes,
especially if you don't catch it early.
yeah.
Which we've seen.
We've seen it a few times where
Absolutely.
someone's gonna get caught and
Wow.
they get phished and they enter in their password information, and then I get an alert and this says, hey, this guy was not listening to you, and this guy didn't follow training.
And here's what happened, folks. Yeah. That's super cool.
Yeah.
So I'm going to sum things up here, Tyler.
Yeah.
So I have A plus B equals P.
Yeah.
So A, which is aerial,
Oh yes.
B, which is the bus,
Yeah.
equals today Physher.
Yep.
So it wasn't for her going, you need to get a job.
Yeah.
I'm going to help you fix your resume.
Yep.
You need to get out of that bus. And today it equals peace. So guess what, Ariel? You get credit.
She gets all of the credit.
So cheers to Ariel.
Yes.
There you go.
I will happily give her all of the credit in my life for everything good
fantastic.
about it.
Hey, Tyler, really appreciate you being here.
Yeah.
Good conversation to have. It's really cool to be able to hear this kind of, all due respect, it's kind of a boring topic.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But how do you take a boring topic and make it really fun?
Yeah.
I mean, and you've done a great job with this, playing with this Physherman. You got a little tackle box next to you.
I do.
And it really creates this view that let's not make this difficult, people.
Yeah.
Let's really come in and let's help solve problems.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for having
next
me.
time. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, there you have it, folks. A plus B equals P. Yeah. So Ariel, Tyler's wife, said, hey, got to get a job when he's driving a bus. And it turns into this organization today where Tyler goes out fishing, wears fishing attire, and turned cybersecurity into something kind of cool. And at the end of the day, to be able to protect companies that don't realize they need protection. And when they get that protection that Tyler provides at Physher, it's created a massive difference in people's lives and the businesses' lives that they continue to be successful. So on behalf of myself, the entire board developer team, Business Ahas, hope you have a fantastic rest of your week. Until next time, take care, bye.